Hello folks, this is my simple solar setup that I cook on every morning. Here you can see the pan. It's a 12-volt system, and I made it to save energy cooking my breakfast and to power our cell phones, laptops, lights, and other things if there's a power outage. It works great, of course, for camping too because it's super light. Doesn't weigh very much. Seems a shame so many people have expensive solar systems in their camp trailers, but they don't use them at home. This is why I made my system to do both. You see the small kettle in the mug I use to heat 2 mugs of tea every morning. And there is the frying pan I use to make my daily breakfast, my daily 2-egg breakfast burrito. Once a week my son comes over for breakfast and I make us each a burrito. With him I add sausage to make them special. As you see, by putting the parts over the battery, it takes up very little space and is easy to move. It only weighs 32 pounds. And if you take it apart, you can carry the battery separate, which of course is heavy. You see they're mounted on a board that slides down into the battery box to hold everything in place. There are 2 light switches which control that control the solar coming in. This is the controller and the solar, and then it goes down into the battery. The controller is the major part of the system. Now here you see the wiring diagram and the materials I used to build with the cost associated with them. As you see, there are only 4 major parts to any solar system. There are the solar panels, the controller, the battery, and the inverter. The inverter is what changes the solid or the DC to the AC . Well, anyway, it changes AC to the DC, DC to the AC, and you can run it without the AC. Now I just use the AC, household current, that comes down through the inverter. The inverter is on the back side of the board. Here you can see the inverter right here, and the big cables go down into the battery. Now outside you see the solar panels. There are 2 100-watt solar panels, and on the side you can see there are 10-watt solar panels that move the linear actuator. Now there's a linear actuator on the other side that you can't see. Well, you can see just a little of it sticking up above the board there. It moves the panels so they face the sun. Now I also have inside, I have a switch here that can move the solar panels. You can see them moving. And now the sun is moving it back into position. into the position it was in before. Over here is the direct current, the DC that comes. If you leave out the inverter, you can have straight direct current from the solar panels and the battery. This is a cigarette lighter from a car or a truck. It's used a lot by long-haul truck drivers and people who don't want to stop at restaurants and can cook right inside their car using the direct current from their battery. Now, there are all kinds of cooking pots and pans and small refrigerators. There are a lot of different things you can use with this, but of course they have to be sold separately or bought separately because they're not standard AC household current. They're direct current. With this system I can cook either way, but so far I'm just using the household current. The total for making my system came to about $862, but of course you can get a kit or just less expensive parts. But since I'm cooking on mine every day, I decided to get reasonably good parts. But of course with a kit you pay a lot less. Also, even though the system costs quite a bit, if you figure you're saving $2.50 a day, because I can actually cook lunch, I could cook hamburgers, I can do a grilled cheese, but I don't do it. I just cook my breakfast, my 2-egg breakfast burrito. But if you figure $2.50 a day, then in less than a year it pays off the system, and then it's totally free from then on. Now in full sun, my 2 solar panels will charge the battery to about 80% in an hour. It takes longer to charge all the way to 100%. But on cloudy days, I can move the panels so that they face the sun, because of course on cloudy days the 2 side panels don't work. Now by being able to pick it up and move it, you can see that it could be used for picnics. It could be used for any kind of outing where you'd like to have a hot cup of tea, or perhaps would like to just heat up a sandwich or even some soup or anything like that. So it's very handy. Now, of course, if you go camping out of a car, you probably have to get folding panels, small folding panels to use, because you can't take my big solar collectors with you. Anyway, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have a good day, and I hope this is of some interest to you. Goodbye.